Hey everyone, Mr. Hayden here. In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to animate sprites, and I'm going to show you two different methods, and it depends on whether you have individual images for your animation sequence or you have a single image that goes from left to right, where each within that single image you have the different images of your sprite in that animation sequence. So in the first way of doing it, it's when you have individual images, files for each image. So in this case, I have 8 different images, and they're numbered 0 through 00 or 7. So basically, I make a sprite with the first one, and then I use this command here. I call this method add sprite image, and to my sprite, I add the remaining images. And then I also make two integer variables. One is called animation count 1, and one is called animation count 2. And I set them, but those both equal to 0 initially. You can use any names you want. I just tend to use animation count 1 and animation count 2. And then in my game loop, wherever I want the sprite to be animated, I increment animation count 1 by 1. So I do plus equals 1. And then immediately I say if it reaches 6, so if animation count is 6 during one iteration of the game loop, then assign it, set it right back to 0. Okay, and then do the following. Increment animation count 2 by 1, and if it reaches 8, and guess what? 8 is the number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then set it back to 0. And actually, I believe yes, if it reaches 8, because we're going to have images that are in position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that number has to be the number of images that you actually have. If it reaches 8, set it back to 0, and then change the image of the sprite. So you use the change sprite image method, you call it with the name of your sprite, and then the name of your counter animation count 2 variable. So that's the way to animate a sprite if you have individual images. Now, if you have the same image, and when I say the same image, I'm saying one image file, and all of the sprite images in the sequence are evenly spaced from left to right, and I have kind of nothing above and nothing below. So that's the case with this file here, Blue Eye Running E combined. So if I go back to my game, I, let's see, where did I do it? I did it right here. I made a sprite with that image, and then I put a comma using make sprite, and I put the number of the individual images within my single image. So I have 8 of them. All right. So then when the animation, I want the sprite to be animated, I do the same thing as far as making two variables, animation count 1 and animation count 2. And actually, I pretty much do the same thing here as well. I just say change sprite image, and then I put what the animation count 2 variable is. So it does save you some lines of code. You no longer have to have 8 lines of code where I add all of the individual images one at a time. Okay, so the next thing that you can do is speed up or slow down the animation at any time. And that's the nice thing about this approach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change, instead of having this statement if animation count 1 equals 6, I'm going to make a variable that I'm going to replace the 6 with. So here I made a variable called animation speed, and I assigned it 6 initially. So what this number means is how frequently the frame is updated uh, in to show the next image in the animation sequence. So if it's 6, every sixth time the while loop executes, the image is updated. Now, so if I increase this image, it means the animation sequence is going to go more slowly because the image is not going to be updated as frequently. If I decrease it, the animation sequence is going to go faster because the image for the blue monster is updated more frequently. So what I can do is by varying this value, then I can change the animation speed. And that's what I've done right here. I made it controllable with pressing the up and down arrows. So I said if animation speed greater than or equal to 3, animation speed minus equals 1. So the reason I just didn't put animation speed minus equals 1 is that I have to set a minimum value for it. And that minimum value has to be at least 2, but I'm going to leave it at 3. And then I have, okay, for the down event, I say if animation speed is less than or equal to 12, animation speed plus equals 1. So this is going to slow down the animation, and the other one is going to speed it up. So let's see how this works and if it works at all. So right now I'm going to speed up the animation, and hopefully you're going to see this. Oh, you know what? I forgot to change this variable. I need to make it animation speed. Now let's try it. Okay, now I'm going to speed it up. And there, I think you can see he's running more quickly, faster. And now let me slow it down. And there you go, he's back to running slowly. Okay, so that's how you handle animating a sprite. And yeah, so try it out and hopefully you come up with something good.